Hey, how's it going, guys?
Yo.
Welcome to the Weekly Bizarre, the best show on the planet to bring you the most bizarre news stories of the week. I am your host, Alex Whiteley, and I'm back after 2 weeks away. And joined with me are my amazing co-hosts. Up here next to me is the tastiest woman in comedy, Miss Lucy Orchard. I'm sticking by it. I love it. And down below here is Shane Chebsy. How's it going, Shane? Good.
Down where I belong, carrying the weight. Yeah, down below. Yeah.
Today, we're being broadcast by our friends at Joke Pit. So thank you so much for letting us play the sandbox. And we're live. You guys test drove this for us while I was away last week. How did you guys find that? Was it fun?
Yeah. It was. I mean, Lucy came up with the idea, and it was just. It was really cool having the interactions with the people who were watching. I really enjoyed that.
Yeah, we love that too.
Hey, one of my fans, the amazing Hugh Janus, is watching.
Hi, Hugh.
Thank you.
Thank you. Let's remove that banner. I don't know where that is, Lucy.
I'll do it, sweetheart.
Yeah,
I'll run the tech. You do the talking and look pretty, and I'll run the tech.
Looking pretty, eh? Well, so yeah, I've been away for 2 weeks. I took a sabbatical. I was kind of like, you know what? I worked so hard. I have a birthday like everyone else. My wife was like, let's go away. Let's go to Chessington for the weekend and stand in queues an hour at a time and go down roller coasters and stuff. And that was fun. It was good. I'm glad to be back, though. This is where I was born to be, behind a microphone, the podcast, baby. And today we've got a great bunch of stories to bring you. As we go for the week, we find things that are interesting and we throw them in our group. And sometimes we end up getting too many stories. So that's what we've done this week. We've got a crazy amount to talk about. The world's gone crazy, right?
Yeah.
There was a lot going on, man. A lot going on.
Do you remember a couple of weeks ago, like between the three of us, we found like one story. And then like between we've had 19 stories come to our attention about what weird and wonderful things the world has been getting up to this week.
Yeah, absolutely. You had a Glenn, I always call them Glenn moments, you know, it's a satellite navigation. When I was like, you were like, where do you get your stories from? I was like, Flipboard. And you were like, what's Flipboard? It's just an app where you get all your new stories. That's where I got all my batshit crazy stories.
Gotta be honest, I still haven't looked it up. So at the moment it's still, but all I do is I sit at home and I randomly think of somewhere. And I think, right, Mississippi. So I'll type in Mississippi news. And that's where we're not doing it this week, but the little dog that ate through a fiber optic cable and cost $7,000 of damage. Or I just think, right, New Zealand news, and I'll just sit here and just picture places, and I'll divine my bizarre.
You do it the old-fashioned way, the old way we used to have to look for news. And to be fair, you can mess with your algorithms on things like Flipboard. Something sexy. I'd be like, oh, let's have a look what's going on there. And I'll click on that. Next thing you know, I'm getting Kim Kardashian shower pictures. I'm getting Gemma Collins' new hairdos, things like that. Nothing about what we want to talk about at all. So you do have to be careful with stuff like that, but they are handy. But before we go into whatever new stories we're going to talk about today, I think it's only right that we take a couple of minutes to say sort of rest in peace, Chadwick Boseman. See the Black Panther actor died last week. It was such a shock. It was so sad to see, right? I had no idea he was ill. I had no idea he was poorly.
I don't think anyone did, except for his immediate family, maybe close friends, from the sounds of it. It's a real loss, you know, because such potential. Watch, every movie he was in, it was just, you could see this progression, and he had a real screen presence, man. You know, that first moment in Civil War when he appeared as Black Panther and he took the mask off and you realised, I was just absolutely awesome. And what a loss. It
was crazy because the weekend before we went away, I was watching a movie, The Five Bloods, on Netflix. And he has like more of a supporting role, really. He's not a main character in it at all, but he's still brilliant. So yeah, what a shame. What an absolute shame. Rest in peace, Chadwick Boseman. We lost one of the greats there. And very, very sad. But anyway, fuck that shit. That's depressing. It's sad. Let's talk about some fun news stories.
Mr. Sensitivity.
It is sad, but if we mull on too long, we get sort of dragged down. We haven't talked about what order we're going to go in today with these stories, but I'll take the lead. I think there's that one. I'm going to save that one for science with Alex. Let's talk about this crazy guy. The story reads: man in his 20s jumps off wharf security gate and steals Thames Clipper river bus before leading marine police on dramatic chase along the River Thames. This sounds like something off a Lethal Weapon movie or something,
Yeah.
It's crazy. That's the picture you saw while you're waiting to go in there. That's an actual scene from what was going on. It says here, specialist marine police officers swooped on a stolen river bus and seized control during a dramatic chase on the River Thames near London's Tower Bridge. If you're not familiar with London already, marine support units intercepted the Thames Clippers vessel in the early hours of Saturday morning, after police received reports of a man jumping a security gate, stealing a river bus from Trinity Buoy Wharf in Poplar in East London. Say the marine support units had their blue lights illuminating, attempting to stop the vessel, which slowed but did not come to a stop. Marine officers instead decided to board the Thames Clippers vessel, which was said to be traveling at speed. Prior to police intercepting it, the police took control of it. The vessel was then taken to Canary Wharf Dock, where Metropolitan police officers arrested the man in his 20s. What makes the guy do something batshit like that? Huh?
Maybe he just wanted to act out one of those, London Has Fallen type movies. Maybe he just watched too many of them and just thought, "Hey, let's go for it." I don't know. I mean, it says
GTA.
Yeah, too much GTA. Yeah. Let's not say that, because before you know it, you'll have like loads of housewives campaigning to ban GTA or something. We don't want that, do we?
That's me holding a picket sign, by the way. That's it. Hey, no. Before you're wondering what that was no GTA. Yeah,
just looked like you were masturbating a ghost.
Yeah. Would you kindly move out the way, Jeff? Thank you. Cheers.
Jeff.
Bizarre
story. But it's in the right place, right in the middle of London. That's what you expect. UK.
Yeah, so if you look at the picture here, so they started. I like to think of this as the cervix of the Thames. So it starts on the one side where it was stolen. It went a bloody long way, all the way to Canary Wharf and to Tower Bridge.
Yeah.
I like the idea, because it was actually a clipper, that it was a lovely British, not a high speed chase, but sort of a medium speed amble.
Hugh says it had to be better footage than what can be. I agree. That last scene, that chase, awful. Whoever thought, yeah. I think this motherfucker's got obviously had lockdown blues. He's like, I'm bored. I've got nothing to do. He's completed a championship manager, football manager. He's watched The Simpsons. He's completed Pornhub. And he's just like, I've got nothing else to do. I know. Let's steal a boat.
But he's going to be bored now, isn't he? Sitting in a cell.
Well, I don't know. We've seen what British custody sentences are these days. He'll probably get weeks and a slap on the wrists. It says here that the man who is thought to be a former employee of Thames Clippers, so is almost an inside job, was arrested on suspicion of burglary. I love that. They actually saw him steal the boat. They actually caught him on the boat, and they're like, "We're stealing you on suspicion of theft." What do you call that, though? It's Grand Theft Auto. If you steal a car, it's a Grand
right.
boat.
If he's the taking the boat would be the theft, right? But this is burglary and theft. So did the previous employee of Clipper go into someone's house like a cat burglar, maybe steal a diamond necklace and a little silk bag labeled swag, and then sort of cat-footed it to the Clipper, where he got away at what, 15 miles an hour?
You can't catch me. I'm the fastest man on the terms.
It's like that episode of Father Ted, isn't it? When the milkman goes on a rampage on his milk float and he's going like 5 miles an hour.
Oh God! Police say he remains in custody. No shit at this time, and the investigations continue. They're like, no man, we can't. We've got to hold him in remand. There's too many boats on that river. Police, a spokesperson from Metropolitan Police today told Mail Online on Saturday, August 29th, Marine support units were called to reports of a man that jumped a security gate and stolen a Thames Clipper. Yeah, we know. We've read that 3 times already on the story. Yeah, fun story. I would love to have seen it. If anybody's got any footage of that, just send it to us.
Do you guys remember the big diamond heist, the De Beers diamond heist from the Millennium Dome?
No,
vaguely.
Are you absolutely? Are you on crack? How do you?
I might have been then.
Right. So do you remember when the De Beers diamond heist? I'm going to say it. Diamond cartel. De Beers diamonds. It was the Millennium Dome, so it would have been either. It was it would be 1999, wouldn't it? Diamond theft. That's it. And they got on a boat. I swear they got on a boat and went on the Thames. It's the Millennium Dome raid. There it is. So in 2000, a local gang ram raided the De Beers Diamond Exhibition, which was in the Riverside Dome at the time. And they were there was a gem there that was worth £200 million.
Wow.
Nice.
That's what caught this to me, because it was they sort of, it got flagged with the flying squad, and I just it's like so much TV. It's like, is there actually a flying squad? I thought that was just something that happened on TV. If it had been successful, they would have got £350 million worth of diamonds.
Whoa.
And then, so I always think of that really fondly. And then this came up, and it's just sort of like a guy, probably in a Fred Perry t-shirt and some white trainers, leaning forward on a Clipper, going faster, faster.
Yeah, that's what I was saying. I mean, I can share the screen now. Look at that boat. That is a small ferry. Where the fuck are you going on that? You're not going anywhere fast, are you? Really? Let's be honest. If you're going to steal something, it'd be a speedboat, right?
You could probably be outrun by police frogmen.
I'm not being joking. You know, that platform on the back there. Yeah. That was a bad idea. That's a lot of alcohol or meth or whatever he's doing. I don't know, but I'm stand by it. He's had lockdown blues. He's like, fuck it, I'm stealing a boat. So there you go. Who wants to do the next story? I'm going to. Who wants to do the Barbados story? Because I think that's funny. Yeah, Lucy. Yeah,
I think that's a Lucy story. Yeah.
So, you guys know that I've made quite a prolific career online doing my comedy, never actually leaving my living room. You know, I've got quite a few shows. I'm getting paid work now online. I'm loving my online. And then when I saw this story, so it's the Barbadian Prime Minister Mia Amor-Gottliey. Is it Bayesian?
Yeah.
Yes, it's Bayesian. What did I say? Bedouin? What you doing? So I mean, her name's Mia Amor. I mean, okay, so her name's Mia Amor. She
That's a
lives in the
bomb
Caribbean.
name. That's definitely a bomb girl name.
Bond name,
Come on.
yeah. And she's
Yeah.
introducing a 12-month Barbados welcome stamp. So if you work from home, you can get you can work there as long as you're working online, as opposed to saying when you work here, you've got to work here and you've got to get a job here and get your visa done here. They're saying for 12 months, live here. If all you're doing is tippity tapping away, you know, John, you can do those HR reports via via Dropbox. Which
So
is,
tempted.
Josh has put up regarding our last story. Also, better chance to get clean at night. Yeah, you'd think. It looks like he chose sort of 3 o'clock in the afternoon. He probably got tourists trying to get on the boat with him at the same time. I'm doing a heist.
I was gonna say, let's hit the wrong switch and all the floodlights come on, and you're literally the only thing that lit up on the Thames. I wonder what's going on over there. And there's some crazy guy about, fuck the world, I'm John Silver. Anyway,
I said to my mum, I said I could do my online comedy, couldn't I? From Barbados, I'm good with that. And then she reminded me that this is the reason I can't go to Barbados. Take it away now. I'm bored of it.
Pets for me, I can't. I don't like pets. I mean, I've had cats and I've had dogs, but I get too close to them and I'm kind of like, oh, I'm really sad they're gone now. So I choose not to. Does that make sense?
Yeah, I mean, it rips your heart out. Absolutely rips your heart out if anything happens to you. It happens to them because
that's cat number 4 that we've got in the house.
Yeah, so you know, it's I can't help it. I am, but well, no, hang on, right, Josh. Josh has made a very clear thing. So Josh is a comedy friend of mine from America. They don't allow cats in Barbados. So you have to do like pet quarantine or something to get your cats.
I would imagine so.
Because isn't that why Johnny Depp had to apologise to Australia or something because he snuck his dog in?
I mean, that's no way to talk about Amber Heard, is
it? Brilliant. Shane for the win. Shane for the win.
I don't do many, but you know.
That was brilliant. That was brilliant. I couldn't. Fantastic. That's the thing about me. Okay, I don't get too attached. I won't let myself get too attached. So I'll be like, "Yo, mate, do you want a cat? Here, have a cat. Move to Barbados, get another cat. Done." Like, I wouldn't be like, "I'm gonna pay £1,500 for a ticket for my cat to come to Barbados with me." I'll be like, "Yo, can you look after us for a couple of weeks and then just never come back?" Because I'm cold like that. That's how I roll. Anyway, this story about this woman. For some reason, I can't scroll down on this. I don't know why. It's been a pain in the backside, but it's the Telegraph, so it's probably like, "Yo, give me some money, or you keep the story." And I'm not giving them money. I'm sorry. Here we go.
Hugh, Hugh's been on. You'd have to give up gin and take up drinking rum. Hugh, hey,
no problem.
I'm not scared of change. You know.
And it's great rum over there, man. It's the best rum I've ever drunk in.
Mount Gay is my favourite. That's Jamaican. But I'm willing to make that try. I'm willing to make that change, you know. But I mean, I never thought I would find myself in the middle of a show Googling, "Can I take my cat to Barbados?" So it says all cats and dogs entering Barbados must be accompanied by a certificate stamped by the vet services from the origin. So, I mean, it doesn't say that I can't.
That sounds doable then. Go for it. You'll have better backgrounds for the podcast anyway.
I know. It was like, oh, is that a green screen? No, motherfucker. At the same time as well, there was a journalist who, they like to tell us everything about fucking lives like we give a shit. Sheila Fox, journalist for The Independent. I was stranded in Barbados during lockdown, and now I don't want to come home. So I read it, and it is exactly what you think. They read it, they ignored all the flight warning because they thought, well, this will blow over. As everyone's going, it's doomed, and they were like, yeah, it's fine, we'll be fine. And then they couldn't leave Barbados, and then they realised, oh shitter, they're wealthy, they're white, and they're trapped in Barbados. They did fine.
Oh.
They really coped.
Such a hard life.
I think it's a valid point that there's a lot of people just like, fuck it, we're gonna go abroad during a pandemic, and if anything happens, we'll just get stuck abroad. I don't think it's like la-di-da. I don't think they're like, oh yeah, you know, while you're in quarantine in Crete, we're gonna give you a full waiting staff. You're gonna have access to the buffet and the pool. I don't think it's like that, is it really? I don't know. There was.
Please do, if you are a watcher, a follower, a viewer, a podcast listener of the Weekly Bazaar, and because of this show, you are relocating to Barbados, please take a picture, tweet, hashtag Weekly Barbados. I don't know. But please,
It'll just be pictures of people pissed up in rum houses.
It's a bit right now. You've lost me to looking at what medical certificates my cats need to go with me to Barbados. I am lost now. I'm like, right. So it needs to be microchipped. That's fine. I can cope with that. Right. Okay. It's got to be vaccinated for rabies. Fine. I can do that.
And then it has to be, to be incinerated.
Oh, Alex, I think you might have made a grievous error there.
She's gone.
She's gone.
Oh, God.
Right, well, oh, no, she's coming back.
John Goodfellow says Lucy.
Hiya, Nobber.
Yeah.
That's my good mate from there, from Executor.
Do you think it's there is a serious problem there with people going abroad, not paying attention to the rules? I mean, I read a story this morning about a Welsh dad who went to Greece with his family, and because Wales and England have different rules at the moment, they were like, "You've come back from Greece, off you go into quarantine for 2 weeks." And he's like, "What the fuck, man? Oh my God, I'm going to go into quarantine for 2 weeks." He says, "You're not. You knob."
You knob.
That's proper old school, isn't it? You knob. I love that.
But no, they don't. They really don't care in Wales. I went to see my son over in Llandudno last weekend, and no one's wearing masks in like restaurants or anything like that. They really do not give a fuck. I actually felt quite uncomfortable in KFC because
I had to get
no
quite
one cared.
ranty. Yeah, I went to Caerphilly yesterday, the day before, to see my brother, and went into Asda, and everybody was maskless.
Mm.
It was over here. It's spot the person without the mask. Over there, it's spot the person with the mask. And Caerphilly comes under the heading of the Aneurin Bevan Health Board, and I did a charity gig. Do you remember a couple of weeks ago? And I kept missing out on the USEC streams we were doing. So I was like, I'm sorry guys, I'm saving COVID and raising money for NHS, and that is what that was for that night. And I feel like apologising to everyone that donated to that charity night and giving them their money back because they don't deserve it. If oh look, see, now he's joined in. Love you too, darling. For our podcast listeners, the people that are watching live can message in and we can highlight it. So I've just got a lovely, amazing person write in. Love you, Lucy. I've ignored everything else he's written. And with Caerphilly, considering that it was in the news that it was the worst area for COVID, and in Wales they had sanctions where you couldn't go further than 5 miles. Everything was lifted in the UK before it was lifted in Wales, but you know, wearing a mask in Wales, optional.
Yeah.
Fucking idiots.
And no one goes with the option, right? Basically,
No.
Well, not in North Wales anyway. From what I saw,
No.
they do not give a flying fuck.
Well, I mean,
It's hard.
if it's to understand them without the mask, it won't be able to understand them with.
I gotta say, I had to move my studio today. I had to because what I do in the Parade Shop Centre in Shrewsbury is I'm using the empty units, right? So I use that, and it's like, hey, Biscuit Studios, we're kind of almost squatting, right? And when somebody lets the unit, we have to move to the next empty one. So I had to do that today. I had to move everything across while wearing my mask. And it really pisses me off to think that there's people that just don't give a shit. Like, and I'm like, carrying all this shit back into when I got my mask on, there's people just like, if I get it, I get it. You know, I don't give a shit. You know, it's annoying.
And they don't give a shit if they give it to someone else either. That's the thing.
Yeah.
Anyway, let's not get bogged
Anyway,
down
we're
with
not here to be
COVID-19.
boring. Yeah. So back up. But what we're saying is, ultimately, if you want to move to Barbados, go. I mean, John wouldn't be able to. I mean, the guy messaging, he's a roofer. He's not going to be able to do that online. But you know, if you're doing any job that just involves doing MS Teams or Zoom or anything like that, it's yeah, just do it.
Let's all just go to Barbados and do the podcast from there.
Yeah.
All we need is 1,000 listeners, guys. 1,000 listeners. Come on, get on here, give us your support so we can go to Barbados and have a great time. And we promise that we'll show you how good time we're having every week. Honestly.
Absolutely, with rum in hand. I don't know who that was that says no one cared who it was until I put on the mask. I love that though. I love it. And John,
showing us some big strong emojis.
Are you a vet? Are you a vet? Because these ones are sick. Anyway, I learned that years ago from a family member. Yeah. So all I'm gonna say is on that note is if you're gonna go abroad during a pandemic, expect some shit when you get back because nobody else is going abroad. You're the one idiot that's going.
Well, I mean, this story, the one I storied about the one I highlighted about that journalist was she went to Barbados before this whole thing kicked off and she ignored the everyone come back warning. That's fine. But to see the pictures of people that have gone, I know there's a pandemic, but who fancies a weekend away in Brittany? Everyone get in the car and then they're like, oh my God, what do you mean I have to self-isolate when I get back? You don't deserve anything, love. You left the country during a pandemic, you dumb fuckers. Now get back in your house, tape up your letterbox and get a takeaway like the rest of us.
Well, the Mexican families, if you go to America, get thrown in a steel cage and give them foil for blankets. I'm just saying. Exactly. I'm just saying. You've got it nice. You've got it nice, fucking Karen. Shut the fuck up.
Keep it light, mate. Keep it light.
That was Kenny Aldrich, who does What's the Difference with Me. How's it going, Kenny? Thanks for watching. A good story for you, Shane. You can't pull stories up, can you? I'll just read it out.
I can actually. I've got my tablet working. Yes, I was going to do the shark story. If that's all right with you, Bob.
Yes.
Cool.
Please do.
Okay.
Please do.
Okay. Chantel Doyle, 35, was surfing on Shelley Beach at Port Macquarie, New South Wales, when the attack took place. And there we are. There's the picture. Her husband punched the shark until it released its grip and then helped by Miss Doyle to the shore. She was airlifted to hospital with serious injuries to her right leg. Experts quoted by the Port Macquarie News believe Miss Doyle had been mauled by a juvenile great white shark. There we go. You see, it was a juvenile. Fucking teenagers. What bastards, aren't they?
Bastard.
Even teenage sharks are assholes. I mean, he doesn't observe social distancing, does he? All those teenage sharks are all out there circling all together in each, less than 1 meter apart. Inconsiderate bastards. Anyway,
do you know what I think they need to do? They know what they need to do. They need to punish the parents. I mean, where are the parents when this shark is by itself just tearing people apart? Where are the parents?
Yeah,
it doesn't.
Disgusting.
And also, hold on. Actually, You always hear these bad stories about sharks, right? The press, they're so biased about sharks. It's always like shark kills man, shark eats child, shark gets punched in face. There's ever any good stories about sharks, about the good work they do in the community service they do. You know, it's always bad. I think there's fake news. That's what it is. It's fake news.
Well, this shark got what was coming to him because the guy punched him in the face. That's what they all need, a good punch in the face. Anyway, it worked. The shark fucked off. The end.
The end. Gen Z sharks with their street slang and their teeth. Yo, blood. You might. Yo, blood. You might have a nibble on the shit.
Of course, there's a bit of gang rivalry with the dolphins. You know.
He says, "I'm fucking shit, mind you. Just come across a few whales on the beach." That was in Talacra. I'm joking.
Yeah, John. You really shouldn't have come across them on the beach not without consent. I think that is actually public exposure, indecent exposure.
That's why all Brits have been banned from the Canary Islands for the time being. I'm just saying. Carry on, Shane.
I mean, there was another guy when lockdown very, very first started. So around about March, end of March, early April, there was a guy in Australia that went surfing and got bitten by a shark. And I thought, what a brilliant lockdown sort of sergeant. You know, like we had the sergeant in Dad's army that told everyone to turn the lights off. This is perfect for people that won't stay in the house. Shark attacks. Now that will make people adhere to quarantine. So we had Storm Ellen the other day. You know, don't put it past us to put sharks in that tornado.
I do believe there's actually pictures of Boris Johnson stood on cliffs with bags just emptying sharks into the water. You will stay in your homes. Release the sharks.
Dogfish. Just dogfish.
Bye, John.
Hi, John. Thanks for joining in for that bit.
Thanks for being with us. Make sure you call me later, buddy. So what do you think about this story then?
Well, she was very lucky, wasn't she? Really?
Yeah, very lucky.
So she was airlifted to hospital with serious injuries to her right leg. But Surf Life Saving NSW Chief Executive Stephen Pearce praised the husband, named by media as Mark Rapley. So he didn't have a name until the media named him. Yeah, very, very grateful for that. For his quick action. I'm not going to do the accent. Come on, Alex. Australian accent for the quote. Come on.
Who's a fucking knob, mate?
This fella paddled over and jumped off on his board onto the shark and hit it to get it to release her. Then assisted her back to the beach. Pretty full on, really heroic.
Pretty full on, really heroic. So you've got to give it that little bit of. So yeah, Inspector Andrew Beverley of Ambulance NSW said people on the beach administered first aid to Miss Doyle before medics arrived. The bystanders on scene that rendered assistance should be commended. Oh, I can't do that accent, man.
Bystanders on scene that rendered assistance should be commended. They did an amazing job.
That went a bit Manchester
right?
halfway through, but yeah.
I know, yeah. Australian. I got called Australian so many times. Are you from Australia? No, I'm fucking British. Yeah,
oh yeah, well, there's always that, you know. I mean, I've been watching the new episodes of The Boys, and what's the actor's name again? The lead role, played Judge Dredd. It's gone out of my head.
Sylvester Stallone.
Carl Urban.
Carl Urban. His British accent is fucking appalling, man. It still is. It's a great show, but his accent is still terrible. He's
from New Zealand as well, isn't he? He's not like
it's not.
Yeah, not Yeah, not far from it.
Yeah, but it just shows the difference between the accents because, you know, he cannot do a convincing British accent. And yet Americans will always
New Zealand
confuse
is
it.
you don't move your teeth. It's everything's
Yeah,
really,
you gotta-
really got to move your mouth out.
Well, you got to keep the flies out. That's why, isn't it? That's why they do that.
Because I've woken. I've been looking at pictures of sharks now. I just come back in the room. Sorry, this is the only program where you're meant to be on your phone during the show because we're reading the news stories, and then I get a pop-up advert for cats, and then you guys have to bring me back in. And
I was doing the same. I was looking at statistics of what these negative shark stories do to the public. And that's what he was like.
I've recently got absolutely obsessed by a TV program called Broken Wood Mysteries on UK TV Play on Drama. And they have got the most amazing, because obviously you do the Australian accent, but you can't move your lips. And there's like, we were watching it and this guy died and we were like, who's dead? Stan. Jan. And it was Stin. Stin was dead. Stin was dead. And the thing is, there were chemicals in the shed.
Chemicals in the shed.
Chemicals in the shed, and Jed nearly killed Stin, and it's just like, I just love it.
We just had a comment. We just had a comment here from Hugh Janis. Could have been worse. It could have been Baby Shark. Oh yeah,
Baby Shark.
No. Stop it. My 5-year-old will hear it like, oh, he's playing Baby Shark. That stop. And plus, it was a juvenile shark, not a baby shark. Your joke is. I'm joking.
Yeah, he's not in the song, is he? He's not in the song. Yeah. Teenage shark. Teenage shark.
It'd be like a teenage shark.
Yeah.
How do you?
It's not
how
fair.
do you punch?
It's not.
Have you ever tried to punch something? Have you ever tried to punch something underwater? Like it's really hard.
I don't remember it. I might have.
I have. I've been in the swim. I've been like messing about and stuff. It's really fucking hard to like punch anything underwater.
Yeah.
So he must have real put some power behind that to.
Yeah. Well, he probably landed the punch from outside the water because the shark was probably in the shallow. They will come into the shallows sometimes and attack people, won't they?
You know what happened? The shark was trying to get the little black brick, and he was distracted.
He wanted to get his swimming badge, his lifesaver.
There's
He
the
just got it the
shark
wrong
with
way
his
around.
pajama bottoms, chucking them over his head, but it still won't inflate. And the guy just went, "Get off my wife!"
Get off my wife, cobber. This is a knife. Anyway, is that a happy ending? I think, even though she was quite badly injured, she was flown to Newcastle Hospital. I hope that was Newcastle in Australia.
Yeah, if it was Newcastle in real life, she got there and they punched her.
Yeah.
Apologies to our viewers up north. I'm so sorry.
So, but yeah, so she had surgery, but she was last reported as being in a stable condition. So that's good news. Meanwhile, the shark is nursing a black eye.
Shark's got a victim support number.
If you've recently been punched by a jock on a surfboard,
punched and it wasn't your fault.
If you were just swimming around having a good time on the beach and some jock jumped off his surfboard and punched you in the face, call this number now.
Right.
I've got a thing here.
Alex, have you got another story for us? Sorry.
We'll get off this. I was looking at statistics. I was trying to find out how many shark attacks.
I could see Alex had gone shark-eyed.
Glazed up. Yeah. Reading shark.
I was looking at news stories because these stories they have a negative effect on how people think about sharks. People will actually go out and seek vengeance on sharks. They'll do that. They'll see this story like, I'm gonna go kill me a shark, and next thing you got a dozen angry Australian guys murdering sharks. And you know, I know this is a bad story. sharks attacking, what have you. But from what I can read, they happen like once a year, like very rare. You got better chance of
sharks do what sharks do, isn't it? The shark's not doing anything wrong. It's a predator in the sea. It does what it does. You can't blame the shark.
Shark lives matter.
Oh, fucking hell.
Well done, Josh. Okay,
moving on.
Story. Moving on. What you got for us?
Right, from one stupid man to another. So the FBI has launched an investigation. I'll bring it up for everyone to watch. Okay, so there it is. The FBI has launched an investigation after American Airlines pilot said he saw what appeared to be a man flying with a jetpack Sunday night near Los Angeles International Airport, Deer, California. I mean, wow,
This is an awesome story. This is an awesome story. I love it.
I don't know. The minute it says Tower America, it makes me think of airplane. Sorry. In my head, this is entirely happening in airplane. So it goes Tower American 1997. We just passed a guy in a jetpack. The first American Airlines pilot states in a call to the control tower. American 1997. Okay, thank you. Were they off to your left or the right side? They haven't got radar. Shouldn't air traffic control have radar? Isn't that the whole thing that they've got? What's the guy that was married to Angelina Jolie, the crazy fucker with the violet blood? What's his name?
Brad Pitt?
No, the old guy. Tin Planes. What was the film with the air traffic control? Come on, somebody on the comments.
All I've got is Sharks Lives Matter.
Was married to Angelina Jolie, did a film about air traffic control. No,
freaking James Bond.
No, John Boyd's my dad.
That was a comment from earlier. It just fits so well.
Yeah, because it's Thunderball, isn't it? We had a jetpack.
But I thought that air traffic control had radar and that they could see. So the fact they had to ask the aeroplane, Billy Bob Thornton. Thank you, Josh.
Oh, see? Yeah. He's cool. But yeah, they're not going to pick up a man on a jetpack on radar, though. Well, it's too small, I think. I think you have to have a certain mass to get picked up by radar, don't you? Reliably.
I don't know. Okay, so he goes off to the left side, maybe 300 yards or so, about our altitude. The pilot responds. We just saw the guy to pass us in the jetpack. Second pilot from JetBlue. Second pilot from JetBlue Airways then tells the tower, which warned another pilot about the sighting. Only in LA, the air traffic control says in the airport. Says at one point, right, air traffic control. Why have you got time for small talk? Right. Right, we don't want remarks. We don't want chit chat. We don't want punchlines. We want facts. Facts about the living and the dying.
Well, where's John McClane when we need him?
So now this is what gets me, and I think maybe it's a different thing between men and women. Yep, very few as well. He said it was Billy Bob. It was Iron Man. So what gets me is, you've got people that are crossing the channel swim for charity and stuff. That's like trying to cross a motorway. There's stuff going there, right? If you've got a jetpack, which even though you have got control over it, I imagine that it's not the easiest to control left and right. I'm sure there's more specialist equipment that you can get. I'm concerned that somebody with a jetpack decides to go nearest. See, I love
Josh
this.
He's in LA, and people have been talking about this a bunch. And there's a rumor that he was a mannequin with a drone.
Ooh, we've never had breaking news, have we? During one of our podcasts.
A mannequin with a drone. That sort of makes sense, doesn't it? Yeah, you could do that, couldn't you?
But again, how big? Right, am I just confused? Because I know that they do, like Amazon do drones, but most people have just got a drone that's like this big that could hold like a small mixer can of Coca-Cola. Like
You can,
maybe hold this mouse or
You can
something.
get big fuck off ones though, can't you? If you've got enough money.
Yeah,
you
yeah.
can get enough-
they've been used.
Mannequin.
Yeah, I mean they've been experimenting with them at airports to carry luggage. The big, massive ones. You can, yeah, they have been experimenting with them. Yeah,
Right.
yeah.
Who's got enough money to dick about
It's
with
LA.
a
People.
window and a mannequin? And the thing is, whether or not you can or can't do it, if it's a person with a shit jetpack, don't go towards the busy space where all the planes and the propellers are. Right? If it is a person with a mannequin and a drone, if that hurt a plane and you killed a load of people,
I believe it.
this has got to be somebody that owns a penis.
Yeah. I mean, obviously they don't care, do they? This person does not care.
Well, do you remember that story last year when one of our airports was closed because somebody was flying a drone? Remember that?
Yeah. Yeah.
I mean, they were like straight up. They were like, "Oh, we're closing the airport. If it goes into an engine, it's going to kill a load of people."
Yeah.
America
LA,
was like, "Rude drone. It's a goddamn drone only in LA. Goddamn motherfucker!" Like,
yeah,
sorry,
the air traffic control's like, huh, only in LA. Carry on. Number 3's clear. See you later, Steve.
Can you imagine if it's like Steve-O on his next thing?
Oh,
You know, because he
fuck's sake. He gets too
and
much
he's like,
airtime.
it's like Epstein didn't kill him. Straight into an engine, like gone. If someone handed you a jetpack and they were like, "It's 100% safe. If you can only use it now," would you ever go?
Right, are we?
Not around an airport.
No, it's safe. It's safe. You can go on an air, like just for the thrill of it.
I wouldn't take the risk, to be honest. I would not take the risk.
As soon as I said propellers, somebody was going to have a go at me, right?
Yeah, propellers. I thought it, Lucy, but I never said anything. Obviously, yeah.
I went to Sweden on a tiny, tiny little plane, and they had propellers. So, and that was only 2-3 years ago.
Yeah.
Have you seen this comment from Josh?
Oh. Because the only the penis to pay well enough to spend money. Do you know what? That's the problem with the patriarch. You know, women are not given the same amount of disposable income as new penises. Yeah. You know, men think I've got extra money. Let's buy a mannequin and a drone and let's take it down to the airport. A woman gets all that money and thinks,
"Shit, I've got to buy more tampons."
Shane,
where it all goes.
Shane, you have to leave the studio. You have to leave the studio for 30 seconds and think about what you're doing.
Jetpacks, tampons. You got to have your priorities, man.
Well,
is that how expensive how expensive tampons are? The same amount that it would take to build a jetpack.
Well, if you're a real fucking bleeder.
Shane, what has got into you? The most mild mannered. I mean, I expect this off Whiteley.
I'm fine. Absolutely fine. I'm not laughing at all. I don't know what. Don't point at me. Don't do that.
Lucy knows what I'm like.
I do. That's why. Even after lockdown, we're not meeting.
We've got one more story to do before we go into Science with Alex, and this is a cute little story, and the headline reads, "Give it a good quack." It's not brilliant, but I mean,
gave it a good quack.
Gave it a good quack, but there's still, what does that even mean? Gave it a good quack.
Gave it a good crack. It's like when you give something a good crack. Also, you're not saying it in a New Zealand accent, so it's give it a good crack.
Isn't it quick?
Quick, give it a good crack.
Is this in New Zealand as well, is it?
Anyway, police and firefighters rescue ducklings from Auckland drain. Police and firefighters today rescued ducklings from a drain in the middle of Auckland motorway. Officers received a call shortly after 10 a.m. to let them know a duck and her ducklings had waddled onto the southwestern motorway near Mount Roskill in Auckland. The baby and the ducklings end up falling down a very deep drain, and police were called on.
Well, there was a baby down there as well. You just read out the baby and the ducklings. There was no fucking baby down there.
The duck and the baby.
Nothing's going past Shane tonight. He's fucking on one. Do not fuck with this man. He slept well, doesn't he?
How many shots of absinthe did you do? Absinthe.
I slept all day, because I didn't sleep last night. I wasn't very well, so I stayed up all night involuntarily. But now I've slept all day, so I'm fucking sharp now, man. I've only been up a few hours.
How sick he was, Alex? He was in bed with his sister.
Hold on a second. Is Mr. Chebs here? Oh, these teenagers, these juveniles. What time did you get out of bed? What have you done with your day?
Not a lot.
The duck and baby.
They were taken to a nearby pond and reunited with their mum. I don't know how they work out which one's their mum, but that's amazing. Oh, for fuck's sake, Josh.
I missed that. What did he say?
Josh. Podcast listeners. I'm gonna have to say it. Duck Lives Matter. You fucking arsehole. Sometimes I wonder about my co-hosts and my friends.
Be scared. Be very scared. Next, we move on to the segment of the show where it's called. We do have scientists on the show, but we'll let you guess which one. As we move into, we'll move into the segment Science with Alex. Science with Alex.
He's not racist.
He's not a racist. I'm not going to go into why we sing that. You'll have to go back and listen to the Weekly Bizarre. We pick a particularly sophisticated story for me to talk through, and I'll tell you why and give you the particulars about this story. This one is from The Independent. It reads, Pentagon UFO unit to publicly release some findings after ex-official says off-world vehicle found. And the subtext underneath that, it says, if it's something from outside this planet, we might actually be better than the Chinese or the Russians.
See, didn't they release a load of footage recently? And we decided that and I say we, my take on it was the Pentagon, they're known worldwide for being truthful and sharing with their information. Oh, yeah. If they're giving us this, I want to know who they accidentally killed and where have they secretly buried them. Because it's sort of like, look over there, look at the UFO, don't look over there.
Squirrel. Yeah. Do you know what I want to know, right? Hey, this is brilliant because the advert that pops up on my tablet underneath this is an advert for the all-new Cougar plug-in hybrid mobility car. So obviously it's read that as off-road. Forget it. Off-world.
Off-world.
It's just it's the new Ford. That's all it is, man.
The thing is about 2020. There's so much fucked up shit going on that we can get a story right now of actual footage of the aliens walking off the craft, shaking Trump's hand or whatever, and we would still be like, yeah, that's bullshit.
Fake news.
Like, yeah, whatever. News. Fake news. Because so much weird shit's happened this year.
Well, they're not going to fucking shake Trump's hand, are they? They're going to do a fucking, they're going to do a Mars attacks on him, aren't they?
The elbow. No, they'll be like, it is the master. He has infiltrated the world. Well done. Anyway, so it reads here, a Pentagon UFO unit will be made. Will make some investigations public as ex-advisors suggest that vehicles not made on this earth were placed in the US government storage. Now, we need to look at that for a second. It will make some investigations public. So all it means is they're going to find this guy, they're going to hang him, draw him, and quarter him. And he's fuck all about. It was piloted by the Bantons.
I don't know whether or not this is reference to the Lucy show where I was talking about chickens.
It says here the team will update the U.S. Senate's Intelligence Committee on its unidentified flying object, or UFO, if you're not too familiar with that phrase. Research every 6 months, the New York Times reported on Thursday. Publicly named in 2019 as the Unidentified Aerial Phenomenon Task Force, the Pentagon unit succeeded an investigative UFO program that was said to have been disbanded prior to 2017. One former official, Eric Davis, told the Times he briefed the U.S. Department on Defense in March about the retrieval of off-world vehicles not made on this Earth. The Pentagon consultant there and subcontractor said objectives he believed we couldn't make ourselves were discovered during his time at the unit where he worked in 2007. Whilst no crash artifacts have ever been documented in public, Harry Reid, the former Democrat Senate Majority Leader, told the Times that he came to the conclusion that UFO materials were in the government's possession. After looking into this, I came to the conclusion that there were reports where some were substantive. What the fuck are these words? They want me to read these stories out, but what the fuck's that word? I've never heard that word before. You guys made this up. Substantive.
Yeah, it means it has substance.
Hey, okay, you can't substantiate that phrase though.
No, I can't substantiate that. Sorry.
Some not so substantive. That were actual materials that the government and the private sector in their possession. And the former senator for Nevada said, I can't read today. It is not known what details the Pentagon will provide to the Senate. Whilst acting Intelligence Committee Chairman Marco Rubio said last week that his priority was to uncover who was behind the unidentified flying vehicles seen over American military bases. We've already discovered that it was a drone with a mannequin. There you go. Solved. I struggled reading that story, but I can tell you now, it's drones and mannequins going over Nevada desert.
What? I mean, talk about reinventing the wheel. First of all, UFO is a UFO is a UFO. A UFO is not an alien, because if you could identify it, it's no longer a UFO.
That is true.
That is true. And then they've changed it as the Unidentified Aerial Phenomenon Task Force.
It's a bit of a gobble.
Yeah, the X
right,
files.
Unidentified flying aerial object phenomenon. I mean, that is sort of like when you get my friend Leon Bukowski lives in Malaysia, and they come up with these really sort of like convoluted different names to give rip-off things. That the Unidentified Aerial Phenomenon Task Force is the type of task force you get down the market because your mum won't buy you the real UFO.
It's the PCSO of UFO department.
That's a high tip, not a high top.
That's what they did in the UK. They were like, yo, instead of police, we're going to give you the PCSO, which is a glorified security guard. To continue, the last bit of this article says, we have things flying around military bases and places where we are conducting military exercises, and we don't know what it is. And it isn't ours, said Senator Rubio to CBS Miami. Frankly, that if it's something from outside this planet, that might actually be better than the fact that we've been some technology leap on behalf of the Chinese and the Russians or some other adversary. So he's like, oh, fuck it. If it's aliens, it's much better than the Russians and the Chinese. What the fuck is that all about?
Surely the whole phrase is better the devil you know. All right, so here you go. Right, I'm gonna give you the fight of your life. You can go up against Klitschko or behind this door is a Martian.
Well, if they're as stupid as the fucking Martians in that Mel Gibson movie, who came to Earth for our water, but are killed by water, but didn't wear their cagoules, then I'm not worried about the Martians. I could just lock them in the
That movie broke my heart, right? Because I was like, oh,
Signs.
Oh, all the way through this movie, yeah, Signs. All the way through, I was like, oh my God, that's really clever. Oh, that's really spooky. And walking out of it, I was like, it had the same ending as fucking Wizard of Oz. Literally the same ending. It burns, it burns. Yeah.
It was just dumb, man. It was just a dumb film. And it was a shame because it looked so nice. It was so nicely directed and so well acted, but it was such a dumb story.
It was.
Anyway,
Josh says Josh won't welcome any being from a shithole planet. From a shithole planet.
Yeah, Mars is a shithole.
So this is the part where I come to a conclusion about, and I'll tell you guys how to calm down, because obviously these UFOs or whatever Lucy came up with there, what was in the article, unidentified aerial phenomenon. It's mannequins with drones. It's fine. Don't worry about it. It's fucking,
Thing is, Alex, if you can identify it, it's no longer unidentified.
Unidentified mannequins.
People are making new things all the time, aren't they? Whether it's private companies. I mean, look at Elon Musk. He's like, oh, I'm going to launch like 500 satellites into orbit. And everybody's just gone, okay. All right. I'm going to give everyone free internet. Okay. And then next thing we know, it turns them around on the planet, hits a switch, and all of a sudden the lasers come out. Everyone's fucked, you know. Okay, hey, back on, Elon. You know, it's a dangerous game, right? Isn't it? When you can start letting multi-billionaires just do what the fuck they want up there, because obviously there's weapons you can make. There's things you can use to, you know, fuck with our privacy.
Don't worry. We've got Trump's Space Force. We'll be fine.
But I've always said that Trump's Space Force is actually one of the coolest things he's ever done because I think it makes sense, you know, because once you
carry on
control of that area, Elon Musk is a fucking alien. I've got to counterbalance that with Zuckerberg. Did you see that picture of him surfing with all white shit all over his face? This is really funny. Yeah, it was too much.
Well, what's wrong with having too much sunblock? You're mocking against my man for sunscreen. Do you know how many millions of reasons you can mock Zuckerberg, and you're going for his fact to use his sunscreen?
No, I don't. I champion sunscreen, but this fucking picture is just unbelievable. Let me just share this.
You've got to play some music while we wait, Lucy.
I know. Science with Alex.
Oh, it's frozen up. What the fuck? It's frozen up.
We need music.
Can you hear me?
Yeah, you can hear you.
It's frozen up for some reason. I don't know what's going on.
It's fucking Mark Zuckerberg, mate. He's fucked you.
I think that's just what's happened. I mentioned Mark Zuckerberg. I'm like, yo, look at this crazy picture of him. And he's like, yeah, fuck this shit.
He's like, you're not streaming through my pages and calling me a prick.
Yeah.
Okay. I'm gonna have to end the show. Literally, I've got like a white just fucking mist over my shit. Can't see anything.
It's Mark Zuckerberg.
It's Mark Zuckerberg licking your screen.
It's like, you want some sunscreen, motherfucker? There you go, all over your screen.
Sunscreen.
I'm going to take a picture for future reference, just so you can see what I can see. Right, guys, this has been the Weekly Bazaar. You Sucks Weekly Bazaar. It's been my first time doing this live. I want to say thank you to everybody that's been in the chats, giving us great comments and taking part.
Thanks, guys.
It's been fun. It's been good. I'll thank you, Lucy, for setting this up for us. Joke Pit as well for letting us play in your sandbox. It's been good fun. Shane, you've been bloody hilarious today, mate. Well done. Well done. Round of applause for Shane for being funny. Yeah, not that he isn't every week.
Not like every other occasion we've done this. Yeah, fuck off.
I don't know what the fuck's going on with my computer right now.
Right, shall I take over, sweetheart?
No, I can do this. You'll just have to end the thing. Right, guys, make sure you give us a follow on Facebook, Instagram, Twitter with YouSuck. Okay, YouSuck has 3 great shows. There's obviously this one, which is the Weekly Bazaar with me, Shane, and Lucy. We talk about the news every week. There is Superhero Bar Fight with Jamie Westwood and Tom Stevens. They've been getting some amazing guests on there lately. They talk about who would win in a bar fight between different movie characters and cultural characters. It's really fun. They've just had Jared Reddick from Bowling for Soup on there. I'm so proud of those guys for getting him on. And of course, you have What's the Difference with me, Tom, Bruno, and Kenny Aldrich, I believe is watching right now, where we invite people from the world of culture, and we talk about the difference between US and UK culture. We have a great time there. So 3 shows. If you go to usup.podbean.com, you can check out everything we do there. Guys, you've been amazing this week. Thank you so much. Take a bow.
Yeah, absolute pleasure, man.
Take a bow. Take a bow. Take a bow. Thank you guys for watching. Thank you guys for commenting. This has been fun. Lucy, get us the fuck out of here because my computer just died. Literally just died.